What's up, guys? You may have noticed that I put a post on my Facebook page about a post that I made on Metal Archives, and we're looking at it right now. And I actually wanted to go a little bit more in depth about what I meant and how I came to this conclusion that these are the three things that you need, to start mixing or to get better at mixing and so on and so forth. And a lot of these conclusions actually come from watching other people mix, professionals especially, when I was subscribed to Nail the Mix, like 2 years ago, or a year or more, a long time ago. I have not been a subscriber there for a long time, actually. But the three conclusions that I came up to basically were: you need a time limit, you need to have focus, and you need to have perspective. So basically what I said here is the guy is pretty much saying that I've been working on the song for so long, I don't even know who I am anymore. This has happened to me multiple times, and I even said so. I'm like, not uncommon. In fact, this used to be a particular problem of mine, like, oh, what about this snare sample? What about these tom samples? What about these cymbals? What if I mix it like this? What if I did audience perspective, drummer's perspective? What if I use this? And then you never stop, and you never go, hey, whoa, stop. So I started doing that to myself. I started going, yeah, okay, I do have a ton of drum libraries that I could go through and I could look at. But I'm going to go with these ones. And I'm going to stick with these ones, and that's it. Okay? And that's it. So I've taken all the other ones out of the equation. This is what I'm working with, and that's it. That has really helped me. This is the bass I'm going to use. This is the bass sound I'm going to go for. Okay, I've narrowed it down to basically 2 amp simulators I want to use. This one. Done. I forget about the other ones. Well, I have these. This is what I'm going to use. And this really helps with the time limit. So what I suggested to this guy, if you're not in the forum, you didn't read it, and what I suggest to you is that give yourself a time limit. Don't have this, I have a DAW. I have 10 different drum samples I could use. Just stop. Just stop, decide, and move on. Time limit, right? So how I solved it for myself. I used to be a tinkerer, like, ooh, what about, this one sounds good, I got nowhere, and I would get frustrated listening to the same song for weeks, because I'm one of those dudes. I would focus, I would literally work on it day and night until it was done. Well, it was never done because I never allowed myself to finish it. So, time limit. The time limit that I give myself right now is a day. And the reason why it's a day and why I would consider that so long is because I have a day job. I have a beautiful girlfriend who also enjoys my attention sometimes, stuff like that. So I give myself a day to do the first mix. Now, basically when I get a client, I already have an idea of what they are going for because I've already asked. I already have an idea. They've already told me, I like this band and this band. Let's try to make it sound like this. So I already have a good idea of what kind of sound I'm going for, what kind of things I want to do. And having used so many amp simulators, I already have a good idea, like, yeah, that amp simulator would probably be good for this one. These samples for that. Let's go for okay, good, I got it already. Let's do this. And then I wait for the stems, and then I do the first mix. The first mix is a first mix. I really quickly make decisions. Here's the drum sample. Kick sounds good. Kick sounds good. Snare sounds good. Toms, I like the way the toms are. Pan left, center, right. Good. Overheads, little, what is that? There's something really spiky here. Don't like that. Found it, cut it down. Really bright, bring it down. These first gut instincts of listening to the tracks for the very first time, that's when you're going to get like the best mix because you haven't heard it before. And then after you hear it 100 times, you'll become oblivious. Your ears will get used to what you're hearing. That's why the time limit is so important. So, time limit. Bass guitar, don't need this, don't need that. This frequency is useless, don't need that. There are certain guidelines that you can use to mixing certain instruments. That's just the way it is. Everyone says there are no rules in music. Well, there are certain guidelines in mixing that you should follow so that you can have a mix that is listenable. There are certain things you should always be doing, like filtering and stuff like that. You know you're going to filter at this range, so make a filter template, right, and a plugin, and then just move it to where you realize it needs to be. You saved yourself the time of inserting the plugin, making the filter band. You just, boom, insert your template for the filter EQ that you want to use, move it, and you're done. Going to guitars, right? Guitars are usually a pain. Quad tracked or double tracked, do the same process. I don't need this data from here down because I don't need it because I have a bass guitar. I don't need this from here up. Oh, I don't like the high mids, I don't like the low mids. Let's go ahead and put the multi-band compressor in there and get those palm mutes under control. So you see, like, once your brain starts working and once you've done this enough and have practiced a lot, it's no longer of, how can I fix that problem? It's, I hear some muddy low mids. Let's go ahead and throw the multi-band compressor on there and bring it down a little bit so the chugs are clean and I don't muddy up the entire signal going into the master bus. So this is how your brain changes when you do a lot of mixes, right? So time limit. The second thing is focus. Now, when I get a client, I already typed in here, basically, I like to go into mixes already with an idea, which is I'm considering focus of what I'm going for. I've already decided the idea or what I'm going to focus on, and I'm going to use other mixes from bands and producers that I like for perspective. For example, I really like Kristen Cole. He's the producer mixer for Aborted, Benighted. He's like my favorite. If I wasn't gay, I could be pretty close to be gay with him. I really freaking like the way he does productions, so I will often, when it comes to a death metal production, use his stuff to reference my bass, my low end, my tightness. So I already know that's the perspective I want to have on this mix that I'm working on. So I go into the mix already with those questions answered, and I use those to judge how well my idea, focus, is moving along. And so within the first 24 hours, I really do try to get a mix to the client. I believe I mixed the Blood-Soaked demo, not the demo, the single, no more than a day. I mean, I really can't remember. And there is a second single coming out, which took longer, but it was more so due to getting everyone to collaborate and everything else. But the mixes were completed quite quickly, and I sent them off to the band to get feedback right away, specifically so that I could update my focus and my perspective to make sure I'm doing the things correctly that the client wants, so on and so forth. So, why do you want to get faster at mixing? Well, like I said in one of my earlier videos, Joel Wanasek in the Nail in the Mix stuff, he was like, I try to mix a song in 45 minutes to an hour. And I'm like, you're retarded. That's retarded. You can't do that. Well, not only can you do it, it's a good idea, because the less time you spend spinning your wheels on things that, like, should the guitars be, 0.1 dB lower in the mix? It doesn't matter in the overall context of the mix. So I started asking myself different questions. Does it sound good? Do I like it? Does it sound good? Does it, these questions are more objective. Does it sound good? Yeah, no. Does it need to be -1 dB? Who knows? Maybe. You could, but now you're getting into the nitty gritties that ultimately most of the time don't matter, right? So, mix notes from the band, from Blood-Soaked, for example. Help me understand my ideas. Am I on point or not? Well, let's check my perspective again. And then from there, like I say here, you narrow it down to what needs to be done. Focus, and you fine-tune the mix. So, never give yourself unlimited time to mix. Never, 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 never. Never give yourself unlimited options. Never give yourself unlimited time. Never give yourself just unlimited, I can do anything I want. Yes and no. If you want to finish something, you have to have an endpoint in mind. You have to decide, okay, this is where I'm done. Because, yeah, you could, quote, never finish a mix. You just decide to stop working on it. All that philosophical hurly-gibberly. Great. So, and then I say here, what can you do about it now? Forget about the song for a couple of months, do something else, and just completely let it go. If you're in the same situation, just let it go. Step back, gain some perspective again, try to refocus yourself on a different song. Okay? If you can't mix that fast right now, you have to practice mixing faster. That's it. Make templates of things you do all the time. I have templates of my guitar tracks. I have templates of my bass tracks. I have templates of my contact instrument tracks. Template is a bad word for some reason. Well, screw that. I want to do things faster. I'm going to use a template that'll get me 90% of the way where I need to be and adjust the last 10%. So something that would take you 5 minutes will take me a minute. The more you can mix, the more clients obviously you'd be able to have. But, come on, you'll have a finished product faster. And the faster you mix, the faster you can make decisions, the better it will be. It's just like weightlifting. I made this point in the Discord. You can't lift more weight if you don't lift more weight. That's it. All right. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please like it, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. There's some cool stuff coming up, guys, so stay tuned. All right. Thanks a lot. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.